Hi everybody. I haven't done a talk through video in a while, and like many people, a lot of time is being spent indoors because of the current pandemic. For this video, I want to dive into the nitty-gritty of this statue collecting hobby. The series of videos so far was to diarize our collection, and I think it's better to make it more personal too. So to start off, a little background. I personally never had the exposure like my husband did when he was a child, having a pull list and visiting the local comic book store. But I was more into the hot toys. They're more doll-like, pulp culture gaming, and the occasional trade paperbacks. I know, a whole different ballgame. I like the alternative genres like Star Comics or IDW because I thought I could be producing the characters or storylines too. Statues are an art form, just like music, movies, dance, paints, draws, sculpts, comics, and many mediums for creators to channel their thoughts. As we got older, statues really meshed my soulmate and I together. He's only started with just action figures. I mean, everyone starts somewhere, so this collection definitely didn't happen overnight, and no lottery was won. It's something that brings us solace and happiness. It's for ourselves and the kiddos and the next generations to come. I find it extremely amusing when people think and feel like they know everything that there is to know about the hobby, when they themselves either have stopped collecting, do not collect at all, or recycle their funds to keep the grail pieces on rotation. This is an ongoing hobby. You're the one who will look at them the most. And for people who say that it's a waste of money or cannot justify someone else having them, they really need to reflect on themselves. Of course, it's a privilege to have non-essential goods. Throughout the pandemic, our lives have really slowed down. We have seen different countries respond in various ways. The conclusion that I drew is that everything is political and economical. Those who are affected the most are low-income or marginalized groups. I don't even want to start a debate, so let's retrack and get back to the main topic of statue collecting. What I'm trying to say is that those who have will only gain more, and those who don't will just continue to make excuses to limit their dreams and create justifications for situations. If one is happy living in an apartment or condo, great. But we all know how much space statues and boxes can take up, so the collection has to be more restricted to a certain theme, a specific genre, or having a super crisp and clean display. Endgame. In my opinion, the members in action figure groups on Facebook are actually more down to earth because those who quote unquote moved on to statues only think they've reached the epitome of class and status, that there's only one exclusive way to display whatever looks great photographed with spaced out shelves or lighting. For us, we've always liked the thrill of the hunt. We've gone to countless comic book stores, and it's so heartwarming to get to know the owners because they really made a living out of their passion. Statues are symbolic, permanent, and perfect. They may bring back a childhood memory, a fondness of the character, or just pure appreciation of the artistry. Believe it or not, it can be a motivator for your quote-unquote real life by having goals and achieving more because ultimately you gotta have the funds to make those purchases. And everyone likes the thrill of buying. That being said, there are many talented individuals who create custom pieces or work for a certain brand, but keeping in mind that production and licensing and all of the extra fees that are involved in the making of one is overall a numbers game. It's just simple supply and demand. Like any artist, they like to be compensated for their time and work. They can be an entrepreneur and start something themselves, even though the startup process may be extremely challenging. Or they could work for a larger enterprise and at least have that economic stability, but fewer ideas to influence. Simple risk and reward. Statues are timeless. At least that's the historical part of it. Just like paintings, when photos didn't exist, yet folks wanted to capture the stillness of that realistic moment and preserve it for the next years to come. Everyone should have a sense of purpose or passion for something, but not everyone gets the opportunity to discover themselves because we're all just intersections of identities from all walks of life. So, a disclaimer before there's a comment saying, oh my gosh, it's hoarding, it's not displayed properly, it's a waste. Just remember that it's still an individual or a small team of people who created it and got compensated for it. So let it be a community of shared love for comics and collectibles. It's always easier to criticize or infiltrate doubts and to spread hate. You can never have too much love, kindness, and superhero-ness. There is so much richness in the stories and principles of symbolism that we don't see in new media. Nowadays, they don't even have comic books at convenience stores or newsstands. Art can be used for propaganda, spreading awareness, or creating subliminal messages. So if individuals cannot think critically or analyze beyond the surface, then it becomes the very effect of mass colonialism. I'm so happy to see other fellow collectors grow their collection or restoring their childhood with certain comics and toys. Excellent, and all kudos for that. Life is short. Humanity can be kind. It's so easy to judge or commentate on the sidelines as if they themselves are all saints. That's just how it works, so we just have to be more conscious. People are more open about who they are, and boundaries are no longer borders, and the world is getting smaller as we know it. With an over-reliance on the cyberspace and technology, it's up to parental figures to educate their offspring and pass on traditions or knowledge. For example, the new generations needs to know that dinosaurs once walked the earth, and that toys are better time passers than screens to promote imagination. That humans may all just be in a time frame or scope of reality in the vast solar system. So make the most of it. There's goodness in everyone and everything. Somehow we forget what we learned as kids. And on that note, I hope everyone is staying safe, and if you're going out, just take the necessary precautions and have basic common sense. We all have so much more to learn. Society doesn't make the rules, but everyone contributes to the so-called norms.